Good morning, ladies. It's a new day. We're on Tuesday. Genesis 17 is where we'll begin today. I'm out of town in Jacksonville, Florida at a preacher's meeting, and it's been good so far. Tonight, I got to hear from Pastor Tom Wallace. He's 95 years old, been in the ministry over 70 years, which is pretty amazing. What a testimony of faithfulness. So, as we begin this morning, we're going to ask the Lord to open thou mine eyes that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law. And we will begin in Genesis 17. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God, walk before me and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thy seed exceedingly. Maybe Abram kept forgetting that because it hadn't happened yet, but God was faithful to continue to remind him that he was going to multiply him and that it would be exceedingly. Verse 3, And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Again, many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram. Time for a name change. But thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee, and I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, again, exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. So he also gave him land. And God said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant, which shall ye keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man-child among you shall be circumcised, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man-child in your generations, he that is born in the house or bought with money, or of any stranger which is not of thy seed, he that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money, must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man-child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. And God said unto Abraham, As for Sarai thy wife, now time for her name to change. Thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, that is 90 years old, bear? And Abraham said unto God, O that Ishmael might live before thee. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And he led off talking with him, and God went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house was and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day as God had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. In the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son. And all the men of his house, born in the house and bought with money of the stranger, were circumcised with him. So hindsight may be a harsh teacher, but its vision is always 20/20. The book of Genesis does not seek to cover up the frailties of Abraham and Sarah, but includes them right along with the moments of shining faith and obedience. Why? So that we might learn from their example, good and bad. What can you learn from Abraham's life about the danger of running ahead of God? Well, here's 2 lessons worth noting. First, Abraham's perception of God was sometimes too small. Abraham assumed that Sarah's barrenness was a permanent obstacle to God's promise, not realizing that with God nothing shall be impossible. And number 2, Abraham's patience was too short. He got in a hurry. He decided to fulfill a promise that God was responsible to fulfill. So let me encourage you today to write down one of God's timeless promises to you and attach it to your clock that you see regularly. And this is a great way to remind yourself that throughout the day, this promise will come in its time. You know, many times people have turned and left the dock just before the ship came in, right? And how old was Abraham when God made the covenant with him? 99. Circumcision was given as a covenant to Abram. In those days, covenants were sealed by blood. Abraham and his descendants shed blood of circumcision as God's fulfilled part of the covenant by shedding of Jesus' blood on the cross. How old are children supposed to be when they are circumcised? In verse 12, it tells us that they're to be 8 days old. And this just happens to be the day when a person with the highest naturally occurring level of vitamin K for clotting, I'm sure God had that in his plan, right? We know that now, but they could not have possibly known that when the Bible was written. God wrote the Bible. Ishmael was, as a child of Abraham, was blessed as a great nation as well. And it says that there would be 12 princes that come from Ishmael, and we know that he is the father of the G.R.O.W people. So Psalm chapter 14. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God, they are corrupt, they have done abominable works, there is none that doeth good. The Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek God. They are all gone aside, and they altogether become filthy. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. Have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread, and call upon the Lord? There were they in great fear, for God is in the generation of the righteous. Ye have shamed the counsel of the poor, because the Lord is his refuge. Oh, that the salvation of Israel were come back out of Zion, and when the Lord bringeth back the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice, and Israel shall be glad. And then Proverbs chapter 14. Every wise woman buildeth her house. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. He that walketh in his uprightness feareth the Lord, but he that is perverse in his ways despise him. In the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise shall preserve them. Where no oxen are, the crib is clean, but much increases by the strength of the ox. A faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. A scorner seeketh wisdom, and findeth it not, but knowledge is easy unto him that understandeth. Go from the presence of a foolish man, and when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge, the wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. The heart knoweth his own bitterness, and a stranger doth not intermeddle with his joy. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish. There is a way which seemeth right unto man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Even in laughter the heart is sorrowful, and the end of the mirth is heaviness. The backslider in heart shall be filled with his own ways, and a good man shall be satisfied from himself. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. A wise man feareth and departeth from evil, but the fool rageth and is confident. He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. The evil bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The poor is hated, even of his own neighbor, but the rich hath many friends. He that despiseth his neighbor sinneth, but he that hath mercy on the poor, happy is he. Do they not err that devise evil, but mercy and truth shall be to them that devise good? In all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolishness of the fools is folly. A true witness delivereth souls, but a deceitful witness speaketh lies. In the fear of the Lord is strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. And the multitudes of people is the king's honor, but in the want of people is the destruction of the prince. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of the bones. He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker, but he that honoreth him hath mercy on the poor. The wicked is driven away in his wickedness, but the righteousness hath hope in his death. Wisdom resteth in the heart of him that hath understanding, but that which is in the midst of fools is made known. Righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. The king's favor is toward a wise servant, but the wrath is against them that causeth shame. Ladies, if we can look just back real quick at the first verse. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. We have a choice every day. We can build up in our house, or we can pull it down with our own hands. And thank God that he is with us to guide us through his word and wisdom, so we can build our family up under his words and his guidance and his fruit of the Spirit. I pray you have a blessed Tuesday, and I look forward to seeing you as we continue to grow tomorrow.